Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janus, creator of Pinoy Tech Dad. Today we're going to be talking about the Sabbat E16s. So these are your actual successor to the Sabbat E12 Ultras. So you have the Sabbat E12 Ultras here. These have been some of my favorite TWS earphones. So let's finally check out whether these are something that you need to upgrade to if you already have the Sabbat E12 Ultras, or if you're just planning to buy your first TWS earphones. We're gonna do a quick unboxing, but I have to tell you that you can get a discount if you use the code right in the description box. And by the way, if you don't know me, I already did a few reviews on the Sabbat X12 Ultra, the Sabbat G12 Elite, and the Sabbat Play as well. So I'm pretty confident in what I'll be able to share with you guys, especially when it comes to Sabbat products. So let's go ahead and check out the unboxing. And first off, right out of the box, you'll already see the Sabbat E16s. And underneath that, you have the manual, which is a little bit more simple as compared to the previous ones. And then we have the USB-C charging cable. So these are flat charging cables. And then we have extra ear tips. And what I love about the extra ear tips here is the fact that they included foam ear tips. So we have the regular rubber ones that you are probably used to having, but we have foam ear tips here as well, which are really good, especially if you want more bass coming out from your E16. And I'll tell you more about that because as you can see, I already have the foam ear tips attached to my E16s. And then finally, of course, we have the case itself. So I got the Galaxy Blue colorway, and we do have other colorways as well. We have the Neon Red, Mystic Black, and then the Aurora Green. So again, mine is the Galaxy Blue colorway. So at first glance, you might think, ooh, these look similar to the Sabbat X12 Ultras, the E12 Ultras as well. But once you put it sideways or turn it sideways, you can see that there's a huge difference between those models. So let me just take out the Sabbat E12 Ultras for comparison. The E16s, they're so much thicker. So what that means is that these are molded perfectly to your ears, so these will fit really well into your ears. But there is one minor issue that I will tell you about later on in the video when it comes to the shape of these. All right, so let's move on for the design and let's talk about the specs on this. So I'm just gonna quickly flash the specs right here. So we have an 11mm woofer diaphragm, and then we also have a 6mm tweeter diaphragm inside of these. And now if you're wondering how they fit that, well, these again are bigger than your typical E12 Ultras. And of course, this has the latest Bluetooth 5.2 Qualcomm chip with aptX. Now as to waterproof rating, these are still IPX5 waterproof rated, the same as the Sabbat E12 Ultra. I think that's about it for the specs on the Sabbat E16s. Let's go ahead and talk about the controls on these. If you have the Sabbat X12 Ultras or the E12 Ultras, you're gonna feel right at home with the controls on the Sabbat E16s. You still have volume controls by triple clicking on either side. You can increase the volume by triple clicking on the right side, and then you can decrease the volume by triple clicking on the left side. You can still play, pause, and answer calls using one click on either side. And then you can also skip to the next track by double clicking on the right side, and on the left side, double clicking it would send you back to the previous track. And you can also activate your voice assistant from your phone. This works with Siri, Google Assistant, and Xiaomi AI. So you just simply have to long press on either side for 2 seconds and you'll activate the voice assistant. And then lastly, of course, this has gaming mode. So the same with the Sabbat G12 Elite, you now have gaming mode on the Sabbat E16s. So in able to enter low latency mode or gaming mode on the Sabbat E16s, you just have to click 4 times on either earbuds and you're good to go. And of course, here's a quick latency test for you guys to see how much latency there is, especially when you're gaming. Gaming mode off. Gaming mode. All right, now moving on, the most exciting part, I guess, is the audio quality. How good are the Sabbat E16s as compared to its predecessor, the Sabbat E12 Ultras? So I'm gonna simplify things. There's a really huge difference in sound profiles between the Sabbat E12 Ultras and the Sabbat E16s. The Sabbat E12 Ultras are really good sounding earphones, but these are so heavily bass boosted that the bass on these can sometimes bleed into the mids. Now in comparison, the E16s are not bass boosted. These will absolutely sound brighter than the Sabbat E12 Ultras. So if you've gotten used to the deep bass on the Sabbat E12 Ultras, it will take some adjustment period to get used to the sound profile on the E16s. So I kept switching between the E12 Ultras and the E16s to be able to really tell the difference between the two. And the difference is very obvious. You can hear more instruments in the Sabbat E16s, and the mids and the treble and the vocals on these are so clear. Now, what's amazing about the E16s is that even though this aims for a more balanced sound profile, it will still provide you with enough bass to satisfy even those bass heads. Now, if you feel like the bass on this is a little bit lacking, what you can do is switch to a foam ear tip. Now, I guarantee that switching to foam ear tips will help you with the bass experience. The sound profile is almost the same, but it really improves or enhances the bass. Again, it's not to say that the bass is lacking, it's just that there's quite a difference when it comes to listening to the bass on the Sabbat E12 Ultras as compared to the bass on the E16s. With the Sabbat E16s, there's a great separation between the mids, the bass, and the highs. So you'll immediately be able to tell that the bass is there, but it's not bleeding into the mids. Now, if you're an audiophile and you tried the Sabbat E12 Ultras and you got turned off by the heavily bass boosted sound profile on these, I think the Sabbat E16s will finally turn you into a fan of the Sabbat brand, because these are really meant for audiophiles. The sound quality is obviously really good. They can go really loud, just the same as the Sabbat E12 Ultras. So I hope my endless rambling about the sound quality or sound profile on either one of the Sabbat E16s and the E12 Ultras really helps you in making that decision. Now let's go ahead and talk about the things that are missing from the Sabbat E16. So these still don't have IPX6 waterproof rating. That means you can't take this to the shower if you're planning to take a quick shower. I mean, to some people that really matters. And of course, we still don't have active noise cancellation on the E16s. So bear in mind, these are not a set of active noise cancelling earphones, which are becoming more popular these days. I really wish they could have included active noise cancellation here, but hopefully they do include that in their future products. But yeah, those are the only things that I think are missing from the Sabbat E16s. Oh, and before I forget, there is one minor issue when it comes to the shape of the E16 that I mentioned earlier in the video, and that is when it comes to sound leak. So my wife was complaining that she was hearing minor sound leak when I was listening to the E16s on high volume. So you just have to take note of that. If you're in an elevator or if you're in a quiet place together with other people, they might be able to hear what you're listening to if you are using this on high volumes. However, when I did lower the volume, the sound leak went away. And lastly, here's a quick microphone test before we end the video. This is the microphone test for the Sabbat E16. 1, 2, 3, can you hear me properly? Yeah, I made a rhyme. But anyway, I'm gonna keep quiet for a few seconds. Oh, and just to give you a quick information, I am in an empty room right now, so you can hear a lot of reverberation. That explains it. I'm not in the bathroom, by the way. All right, so I'm gonna keep quiet for a few seconds now. Okay. So now we're gonna test this with some background noise. So I'm gonna play some crowd noise, some fake crowd noise, and let's see how much ambient noise this can capture. And I'm gonna be talking over the crowd noise as well. Alright, so the crowd noise is there. Can you hear me guys properly right now? I'm talking with the crowd noise going on in the background. I hope you guys can still hear me, and I hope this has good separation of my voice from the background noise. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good experience if you're using this in a crowded area. So I'm going to turn off the background noise right now. So let's go back to the full review and find out what my final thoughts are on the Sabbat E16. Alright, so should you get the Sabbat E16s or should you stick with your Sabbat E12 Ultras? Well, first off, let's talk about the price. So Sabbat has finally entered the kind of premium price range for earphones. So these will cost you about $100 in the US or about 4,390 pesos here in the Philippines. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that I do have discount vouchers if you're here in the Philippines, which will expire by the end of July, so you better get to it. Now, the E16s are not your typical budget Sabbat earphones. These are trying to be premium earphones, and Sabbat did a really great job in tuning these to sound like they're high quality earphones. These are really made for audiophiles, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend these if I had audiophile friends, and I don't think I have. But anyway, if you guys are happy with the sound coming from your E12 Ultras, then stick with it. But if you're looking for something that's more high quality and closer to the sound experience that most audiophiles have, then I think the Sabbat E16s are something that you should really consider, even though it's more expensive than the Sabbat E12 Ultras. And by the way, if you get this from the link in the description box, you'll get a free Qi charger for these. If you're not really looking for something that has ANC, these are gonna be your best choice at the $100 price range. So just like the other Sabbat products that I recommended before, these are again something that I would highly recommend to everyone, especially if you have the budget for these. Go get yourself one. Again, links are gonna be in the description box. All right, so those are my thoughts about the Sabbat E16. I'd love to hear your thoughts about these as well. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Sabbat E16 and whether you're getting one. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day.